Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Tim, and I am back with another video here for you. And I wanted to talk about something that I personally have been absolutely obsessed with, and that is wide angle lenses for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons that I've been obsessed with wide angle lenses is because ever since I started this YouTube channel, I have always preferred to shoot with a wide angle lens. Now I'm shooting this on a Canon R6. I have my backup Canon R6 right here as well. I don't have my lens cap on it because I've got a couple different lenses here that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. One of the first lenses that I ever purchased, and this is kind of going to be what this particular video is about, is going to be the Samyang Rokinon. You can probably see it right here. AF 14mm 2.8 RF. Now this was one of the very first RF aftermarket lenses available on the market for the Canon R system. And this was actually my very first RF mount lens that I ever owned. I bought the body separately from Amazon, and I got a couple of adapters and just adapted my previous Canon lenses onto my EOS R, which is perfect when you're doing photography and when you're doing like stills. But the thing that I always really struggled with was trying to find the perfect combination of lens to record all of these videos with. So for the last several years, I lied to you. Probably about the last 2 years, I've been recording on this lens. And this is the Rokinon Samyang 14mm 2.8 RF, and it is actually quite the fantastic lens. But I'm sad to say it has actually been replaced, and I'm moving with something else. I'm moving to the Canon 16mm RF because it's a little bit smaller. It's a smaller package, and it is a native Canon lens. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. Not the 16mm lens. I wanted to talk about this lens. And the reason why I want to talk about this lens is because it has been near and dear to my heart. I never actually shot any photographs with this, so I won't be showing you anything like that. But I will be telling you a little bit about my experience with it and why I actually have enjoyed shooting with it. For starters, when the Canon RF lenses first started coming out, you had the 15-35, which I'm currently recording on right now, which is a monstrosity of a lens. And you had some of the other, the 20-70 2.8 lens. You had the 51.2, and you had I believe a couple of other lenses that they came out. The 35mm f2.8 was the smallest RF lens that Canon came out with initially. But then there was this lens, which was nowhere close to as big as the 15-35, and coming in at only $550. It was about 25% less, or cost me by about 25% less than the Canon RF, which is about $2,400. So you can get this lens for a quarter of the price of that lens. And one of the things I really enjoyed about it was that it was super small in comparison to the other lenses. It was a native RF mount. The autofocus on it for video was absolutely amazing. I never had any pulsating images or pulsating video while using this lens, which I did not have the case. I used to have the oh my gosh, I used to have the 24mm 1.4 lens by Sigma, and I just had all sorts of pulsing video as it was constantly trying to focus on me using the eye autofocuses, which is what I use when I record these videos. And I use the eye autofocus so that way I don't have to worry about myself being in focus, because I don't like to look at myself when I'm recording. So this worked great. It was way better than the Sigma 24 1.4. It was way wider, so if you're shooting in 4K, you can always crop in to make yourself a little bit better. And it also, you know what, makes the person you're recording seem a little thinner than what they are in real life, because it is such a wide angle lens. And another reasons why I didn't care much about this lens was I didn't care the fact that it had an integrated lens hood. which is fine in the grand scheme of things, but I had constantly bumping it up against something, and I actually cracked this one one day when I was recording because I accidentally bumped it against a wall or something like that. So I actually cracked the lens hood ever so slightly. I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's one of the unfortunate about having a built-in lens hood, but I actually ended up selling this one for almost about the price that I bought it for. But as you can kind of see, the lens does kind of protrude a little bit, so the lens hood actually does protect the front element of this lens. The other thing that it really had, it did have a gasket on there, as you can kind of see there. That gasket was pretty much used for waterproofing, but I'm never really recording outside in the rain, so I never really needed that. As a matter of fact, I think if you're not doing still photography, then waterproofing, if you're just using this for video, then you don't really need to worry a ton about filming in the rain. But it does give it an extra element. Now, there's nothing really on the website that says whether or not if this is like weatherproof or waterproof or anything like that. But, you know, in a pinch, I'm sure you could use it and be okay. I would probably cover it with a plastic bag or something like that. But neither here nor there. But this lens has served me extremely well. But like I said, I have replaced it with the Canon 16. Now I do lose 2 millimeters on it, so it won't be quite as wide. I'm currently recording this on the 15 to 35. So even using this lens to record with, I am going to lose an additional millimeter even with the 15 to 35. But it is literally like less than half the size of this lens. And then not only is it less than half the size, it's even smaller on the Canon R6. So it really gives you a package that you can film. So I'll be doing a review really about these two lenses and the differences between the two in a separate video. So you are going to see a couple of videos coming from me about different wide angle lenses, really, because that's what I use to record these videos on YouTube with, and it is what I use to record any sort of video because it can always crop in with as long as I'm shooting in 4K. But yeah, guys, that's really it. It's not really so much a review as much as it is a goodbye to this wonderful lens that I've since sold and replaced with the much cheaper Canon, that's the 50 millimeter, with the much cheaper Canon 16 2.8 millimeter lens. Now this doesn't have a control ring on it, but I've never used the control ring to begin with. I actually think the control ring is a gimmick that Canon should give up. But if you use it, I apologize, but I can see the purpose and why some people would use it. But I just wanted to kind of come in and give a very kind of quick goodbye to this lens that has served me well and have served this channel well. If you're thinking about getting this lens, because right now you can't find the Canon 16mm lens really anywhere, it's sold out everywhere, this lens would do you wonders if you're using it to record. And even if you're using it for still photography, I'm sure it's great. I mean, there's really not a bad lens out on the market today. I mean, there are, but there's probably more bad photographers than there are bad lenses. You're probably finding your way around the flaws of this lens. But for a native RF lens, and there's not very many aftermarket lenses, I think is this one, the Rokinon 85, and like maybe one or two other aftermarket RF lenses, you would probably really enjoy this as you're using it, if you're using it to record videos and YouTube, or if you're just recording just like random stuff like your family and stuff like that. It is a great lens. It's small, it's compact, not as compact as a 16mm, but it is still compact compared to the other native Canon RF lenses. So yeah, Rokinon Samyang 14 2.8 RF. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the memories, man. Thank you for contributing to this channel, and I'm going to cue a little Sarah McLachlan music, and I will remember you. But off to the mail you go. All right, guys, totally random. I just kind of wanted to kind of give a little goodbye to that lens. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a blessed day. Peace.